decided to do videos outside today because it's such a nice day and I'm so ready for freaking summer. Well, spring. I love this weather. But I wanted to explain a little bit for people like that have no clue what Whole Hearts is, what I am working on, what I've been guided to do, and how it works, which has been part of my lessons because I've had to learn how to surrender, give up control, which anyone who knows me, I don't necessarily like that, nor do I like surrendering to anyone else. But surrendering to the universe, I kind of had to learn that in divine timing. Because divine timing, I like to just go 100 miles an hour and plow through something like a motherfucking freight train, especially when my focus is on it or it's a goal. And what I had to learn and why I've been like healing my shadow and all of that is because parts of Whole Hearts, so there's like Rising Strong, which if you imagine a triangle, there's Rising Strong, which is taking down old systems that are broken or helping businesses fix systems that are broken that they have in their own business. And me offering that, offering my services, offering to help them, offering all of that for free at the beginning. And I have to be willing to jump through the scary hoops that I'm shown to do because all I have control of is how I show up. All I have control of is my truth. All I have control of is what I'm willing to stand for. And that goes for you too. What are you willing to stand up for? What do you believe in? So in doing that, throughout this year, I've had to stand up for things. And this goes even years back. And when you stand up for things and I'm showing my vulnerable truth and offering to help or whatever, then it's like the universe pulls me back, which I used to get really mad at because I couldn't figure out why I wasn't able to like take the next steps or keep fighting or any of that. And it's like they moved me on to something else. Okay. And I had to learn to surrender and not just get angry and fight it, because I'm kind of like Veruca in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, where it's like I want the whole world and I want it now. And I had to learn that there's divine timing and I don't get to control that, because in karma and how we show up, I'm allowed to take actions that I'm inspired to take. And it gives then the opportunity for them or whoever it is, whether it's a business, a company, a church, a person, it doesn't matter, for them to be able to show up for themselves now, which usually means jumping through scary hoops, rocking the boat in their own world, digging deep to figure out what their truth actually is, admitting they were wrong, admitting there's a problem, any of that. But I'm not attached to that. I'm not allowed to be unless they ask for help. So I'll go on doing my other shit and watch the evidence of how that situation, that person, that business, that whatever shows up. And then I'll be inspired to send something else or do something else. It's like chess moves. And so I'm inspired to go back in, there's Ziggy, and do something else. Not knowing in the beginning, like I know now what they're doing, but this whole last year and the year before, I didn't know what and why. So then I get to send in the next whatever, whether it's a video, me showing up, having conversation, doesn't matter, where I'm able to share my truth on whatever I was shown to share. And then surrender and back out. Like I said, I have fought the whole back out shit, but I had to learn, just like a seed. You don't know stuff is growing underneath the surface, and you never know what's actually happening behind the scenes that God, the universe, divine, whatever you want to call it, is working on. I just have to know what I'm inspired to do and worry about myself, my truth, and what I'm shown to do. So I've back out, do the other thing that I'm shown to do, whatever, work on a different project, whatever. And then I'll be shown maybe months, a year, whatever, later to come back. And so what I had to fight was everyone else's interpretation of what I'm being shown to do. Because if somebody sees me taking inspired action and then I disappear, they think the beast is dead. They think that I don't know what I'm doing. They think I'm jumping from project to project. They think I am doing things other than being shown and guided by the divine on exactly what to focus on, what to take inspired action on for it to be a seed and start growing under the surface, wherever it's growing, whatever it's doing. Or if it's attached to someone else's dreams, because I help birth people's dreams and ideas and inventions, because my brain comes up with solutions. So if someone's not willing to jump through to heal their shadow and all of that attached to their dreams, that means I birth their dreams in front of them when the divine comes back and says, Alicia, it's time. Did they do what they were supposed to do? Or was their own self-worth, their own fear, their own family issues, their own whatever in the way and caused them to self-sabotage? The difference is if it's something that's meant for the world to help change things and it's would change humanity, I'm gonna birth that dream in front of them. And all they had to do, and that's in my joint venture contracts, all they have to do is come and say, I need more time. Alicia, help me, I'm having a hard time. Alicia, this, or whatever it is. They have to have vulnerability to know what the contract was, what my words said, because what people do is they underestimate. One, they underestimate me. Businesses, that kind of thing, when I'm coming to show shady fuckery in their business, they underestimate me. They assume because they have dollars, a shitload of attorneys, all of that shit, that I'm going to disappear and give up. The beast never dies. The beast is just sleeping until the chess moves need to be moved. So I always see everyone's potential. I always see everyone's good. I always forgive, but I don't forget. I always will help them start over, but if I birth their dreams in front of them, no matter what I help them with, it's never going to be that same dream. It's never going to be the same thing that they wanted, but they can always come full circle back around to ask for forgiveness, to ask for help, to ask for whatever. And so that I had to learn, because I always used to think people that would disown, disappear in my life, it would trigger my abandonment issues, it would trigger all these things. And I had to start realizing that my gift literally triggers everybody's insecurities. My gift triggers their self-worth. My gift triggers all of their fears in their world. And I had to not take it personal when somebody would disappear from my world because they didn't feel good enough. When they didn't show up for themselves or for me, I had to know that it's because they couldn't show up for themselves. So when I would try and partner with people or whatever, and I would get so disappointed because I would sit back and wait for them to show up, I had to learn I couldn't do that. I have to love and see everything, and I'm attached to nothing because I can only be attached to what I do, because everything else is attached to somebody else's journey. So we have the rising strong. That's shady fuckery, or the biggins that I go, the systems, the broken structures that hurt people, that perpetuate a problem. And then you have whole hearts, that's the charity, where I funnel any joint venture, a percentage of any joint venture, any business, any shady fuckery money that comes in, any of that kind of stuff, percentages go into Whole Hearts, the charity, where I funnel it back into the community, because the whys were meant to build pillars in the community. So anything I do is all funneled back. It's not just for me, it is for the community that needs it more than I do, to help more people than just I can help. So we have that. So my dream is to even have a place and a staff that, for people that need help, that are getting out of like abusive relationships, that are, you know, needing help, starting over, whatever it is. I want to have a whole staff that helps me deal with the government because I know and see all the like opportunities and places for grants, for food, for medical assistance, for all of it. But the government, if anyone who's ever dealt with the government, they know. They try and make it so hard, so complicated, so difficult that you give up. They make it take so long that you give up. So if I have a staff and I see all the loopholes, I have a staff that is hounding the government, knowing I have people that are there to just drive the government crazy, that will never give up, to help funnel in all the resources to help those people. And they don't have to worry about it. And to help all the other charities, and to help all of it, because every joint venture is going to need products, is going to need, you know, wholesalers, distributors, whatever it is. So then I get to go and negotiate contracts and discounts for that joint venture or whatever. And then those discounts I put in Whole Hearts charity, meaning all the charities or anyone else in Whole Hearts is able to get those same discounts, which means every year, every person, anything, as the quantities grow, the discounts grow. And I also have it structured so that each person that refers someone I need, whatever a portion of that percentage that I get discounts on, actually funnels back to that person who referred them, because when energy is given, even if it's a referral, energy is given back. So that means just for referring, they can build a legacy for their family and get a percentage paid to them as Whole Hearts grows. Then there's the other piece of Whole Hearts that births dreams, joint ventures, inventions, all of that kind of stuff, helping people birth their dreams. Because I've collected the amazing people that would be at the top of a business, you know, all the things you actually need, from CPA to marketing to whatever. All of that is at a part. So it's almost like a franchise fee, so that the person with that dream, all they have to know how to do is the thing that lights them up. Everything else I have automated and taken care of, and a percentage of that just goes back into the charity and to fund everything else. So they only have to worry about what lights them up, because if you've ever owned a business, there's lots of shit that doesn't light you up and you don't want to do, but that also makes it fail. And that is why someone has to do their shadow work and all of that to be able to birth the business with me, or I birth it without them. Otherwise, you can self-sabotage an amazing joint venture, an amazing business that the world probably needs, all because of your own insecurity, self-sabotage, abandonment, not worthy issues. And I had to learn that in real estate on my team. I was like in a constant cycle of trying to save these women, because it was like a 90-day cycle where they would self-sabotage, and they didn't know how to accept and receive something that was easy and amazing. They only ever knew that you had to struggle and fight to survive. So they would literally self-sabotage their own wealth, abundance, happiness, all of it over and over and over. And it exhausted me, and I had to figure out what it was. And it was because I enabled people before to be small. And that's something I've learned that I refuse to ever do. Because when I enable somebody to be small, that means I am enabling myself to stay small. And that's not my journey. So now it's their truth, their actions show up. That's them. That's not on me. My truth, my actions, and how I showed up is on me. And the natural consequences fall wherever they fall. That's their truth. And I can't feel bad on if that's public. I can't feel bad on if it rocks their world. I can't feel bad if it breaks up a marriage or kills their family. It's all their truth. It was just hidden. And I bring it to light. That's not on me. I gave them opportunities. I gave them time. Because remember, I'm shown to come in and back out. Which means then angels, God, Gaia, whatever you want to call it, goes in to try and help them to be able to stand up for themselves, to do what's right, to fight for their dreams, all of it. And then usually a year, whatever, later, just depends. 6 months, sometimes it's 24 hours, sometimes it's a month, doesn't matter. I don't pick the time, I don't pick the amount, I don't pick the house, I don't pick the whens, I don't pick any of it. And a lot of them, in the beginning, I never think money's even attached to it. Otherwise I wouldn't go in, because it used to feel greedy to me, it used to feel all of those things. But now I know, like, that's why I built the flowy system, the Trinity, because the wise build pillars in the community. My truth now funnels into fixing problems. My truth now, and whatever plays out with natural consequences, I know is divinely guided, and I don't get to control how that is. So even in the moment, it's like they make me surrender and see the good and the potential in a situation. So I can come in from love and come in with forgiveness and healing and whatever, and the opportunity for someone to stand up for themselves and jump through the hoops of scary they need to. And I have to surrender that. And sometimes it breaks my heart. Well, most of the time, it breaks my heart when I'm shown to come back in and yank that potential I saw, that amazing change, that whatever, I have to yank it back. And the natural consequences start to fall. Because the one thing I had to learn the hard way with the death of my husband is you don't get to save anyone from themselves. Ever. All I can ever do is give someone opportunities to show up for themselves, to show up to their highest potential, to show up and have me as a support system if they want it or need it. I don't get to choose who decides not to follow their destiny. I don't get to choose who decides to sleep okay at night if they're still hurting people. If they choose that, then I don't get to be attached to when the truth is exposed. I get to expose my truth. For example, if I send videos and all of that to them, I can read people. I see their pain pieces and their shadow. So in those videos, it probably has vulnerable things that they wouldn't want people to see. And if it's a business, there's probably other people in those videos that have their truth included that they don't want people to see. But if those people didn't choose to help me, help the person make the right decisions, willing to stand up for their own truth, stand up for, all of that shit, then I, again, don't get to feel bad when they are part of the destruction that gets leaked, that gets sent to a news outlet, that gets sent out on YouTube channels. I don't get to choose that. I only get to choose what I was sent in for, the opportunities I gave them, how I feel, what I was willing to do, like all of the things, and their actions and how they handled a situation that is their truth. That is what they are judged on in the public eye. That is the natural consequences. They assumed I would keep everything hidden. They assumed the beast died and gave up. If you know me, I don't ever give up. I've just been in like full divine training to learn how to fucking surrender and not be Veruca and want the whole world now. So if you have seen me do little pieces, those are seeds. And the problem is the people that I've been moving chess pieces for, if they tried to bury me, if they tried to scare me, if they tried to burn me down, they didn't realize I'm a fucking seed. And I've just been growing the entire time, waiting for the next step to be shown to me on when and how. And usually those natural consequences, unfortunately, because it's karma that they show me to come in with, that is just now public karma, it's usually when they're about ready to hit their knees anyways and they knew they should have asked for help. It's when their world's already crashing down around them and they wished they would have. But again, they chose to assume that I died, that I gave up, that I backed away, that they underestimated me and my drive to change the world and fight for what's right and truthful, no matter what someone else's egos, insecurities, and their bad decisions caused. Because that's not my truth. I only get to judge myself. I only get to be a better person than I was the day before, period. And that's what we all should be doing. Stop comparing yourself to other people. Stop worrying about you holding on to a secret that is not yours. Somebody made bad choices, that's on them. Somebody decided to sabotage something that could have had amazing potential, that's on them. Someone is hurt and crying and whatever, and it blows up their world, or they're heartbroken because they watched their dream get burnt. It is not me being vindictive. I don't get to be vindictive. I saw your potential and was willing to fight for you. It is never about me being vindictive. So as things start blowing up in the future, remember that I only get to speak my truth. I only get to show up for humanity and what I want changed and what needs to be changed for this world to actually survive, thrive, and build pillars in the community. Because we are all pieces of a puzzle. We just had to remember that we're amazing pieces of a puzzle that are needed. But if you're not willing to jump through hoops for your destiny and not willing to stand up for what you believe in, then I don't get to choose if it hurts you when truth comes out. That's not on me. I don't care if you thought and it hurt your heart and it tore and this and that and you thought about it every day but you didn't take action. That's your choice. I took action. I did my chess move. I gave an opportunity that sometimes it took me a long time to even fight and do, because some of them are fucking scary, let me tell you. And in between, I get to take care of me, heal, have fun, and be in a magical bliss world. So I don't ever want to hurt people. I don't ever want to blow up someone's world or business. I don't ever want to do anything that is destruction. But sometimes truth and past actions cause its own destruction. And especially when you're given opportunities to make changes and admit there's a problem and it's wrong or whatever, and say you need help. So I have a feeling this summer and the next month or so, it's going to be pretty interesting. Probably why I'm guided to do these explanations for people, because pieces and parts that I've already started and whatever, just remember, they're seeds. They're always growing. It's just divine timing when I'm supposed to actually go in and be more Veruca about it. But I had to learn too that I don't get to be angry or hurt or any of it if someone doesn't know how to show up for themselves. That's on them, not on me. And the natural consequences that happen after that, again, on them, not on me. I love everybody. I want everybody to reach their potential. I used to hate that I saw people's potential and only their potential, but as empaths, that's what we do. So hopefully that makes a little bit more sense, and you guys have an amazing day in the sunshine. Okay?